What if I worked with my natal chart and the transits every day to not only better understand myself, but to take it a step further and use it to guide me to my purpose, my happiness, my love life, and my money and career, and the rest of this stuff in life. And then what if I documented it on camera so I can look back at the progress at the end of the year, and better yet, not just do it alone, but do it with you all. And then I thought, as a fun little twist, as a fun little challenge and motivation for people to actually join this, let's just call it a challenge, join this challenge and take it seriously, I decided each month it would be kind of fun to do a little giveaway and gift something special to a lucky winner each month for completing a month of lifestyle astrology. What does it look like to actually apply these lessons and guidance that we receive from astrology, and how does it play out? Does it actually work? And what happens when you go through a transit that is a great transit? What happens when you go through a really challenging transit? And what happens when you go through your first Saturn return? Hi, my name is Jess, and I just created this channel, and I got the idea to do a series that's going to be me showing up every single day of this year to talk about lifestyle astrology, which I believe is a term that I'm creating because I looked it up everywhere and I haven't seen something called lifestyle astrology before. You know how you think of a lifestyle influencer? If you were to look that up, it's just people kind of showing you their day-to-day and influencing you in some way based on their morning routines and just certain things that they do within their lifestyle. So I, for maybe over a year, have been really, really attached to the idea, or drawn to the idea, of using astrology in real life. And what by that I mean, I spent the past year or two studying astrology. I've loved astrology ever since I was young, but I only knew about sun sign astrology. And then a couple of years ago, I discovered a lady called Soul Navigations, an astrologer called Soul Navigations. And she opened me up into the world of real astrology, which is your astrology chart. And then over time, this year, I ended up discovering the astrology podcast, and Chris Brennan, I believe is his name, helped me discover astrology transits. And it's been this wonderful long journey of me learning about astrology. I got my first ever astrology reading last year for my birthday, and it's just been great. But the one thing that I've always thought was I wonder why I don't see enough people showing how it plays out in real life. There's a bunch of amazing information out there, but no one's showing how do you actually apply it? What does it look like what does it look like to actually apply these lessons and guidance that we receive from astrology, and how does it play out? Does it actually work? And what happens when you go through a transit that is a great transit? What happens when you go through a really challenging transit? And what happens when you go through your first Saturn return, which is where I'm on my way to, because my Saturn is in Pisces. I really want to apply astrology to real life and show people how to actually maximize astrology. And yes, it's fun to listen to your horoscope, but I want to show what it looks like to actually use it as a very helpful tool to incorporate it into your, self-care and self-improvement and daily routines for an extended amount of time, consistently, like you would do anything else, and to kind of just show, do a documentation of showing what it looks like when you use astrology as a daily tool. I'm going to be showing you how to use astrology to help you live out your purpose, help you, what else did I put? I also have a script here. So if I'm looking down, I'm going to probably be looking at it because You'll understand why when I break down my astrology chart and tell you guys about myself. But I guess I can tell you now. I was born with Mercury in retrograde. I was born during a Mercury retrograde, so I feel like a lot of my life I've like struggled with my communication, and it's like, I have a lot of thoughts up here, and I feel like it sounds good until I like articulate it, and then sometimes it comes off just not the most fluent. And you know how some people are just great at communication? Yeah, for me it's like my mind is moving faster than my mouth. So what I found is that I work the best when I have a script that I've wrote. And yeah, so I'm better with my writing than talking, but I do enjoy talking. So, anyway, so I'll have a guide, but I said I will be showing you how to work with astrology in your daily life to connect to your purpose, your happiness, your love life, and your money. And that's just a few of like the main things I feel like a lot of people like eyes spark up when they hear that, because those are very important things to people. But it tells you about everything, like health and all of that. So obviously, if you know, which I'm assuming, everybody hopefully knows about the astrology charts and all that stuff here, because we're not going to really, I don't know if this is going to be a beginner level. Like, I don't know if I'm going to break it down to the basics. I feel like for you to understand this series, you will have to have a basic knowledge about astrology. Now, if there's things that you want me to like, clear up, or, like go back to the basics on, then I could maybe consider that, or I can link a bunch of helpful links in the description box below. Today is going to be the first day of this new series, but before we kind of get into the first entry, I thought that I would first give you guys some things that you need to know before going into this challenge. I don't even know if I'm going to call it a challenge. I feel like, yeah, it could be a challenge. Yeah. So let's just say challenge or whatever, this documentation. As you guys can see, the name is Daily Astrology and Spirituality, because I am a believer of both. I like to use both, but over time, I've learned that being spiritually in tuned, and when I say that, that means like connecting to your intuition, connecting to your body. Intuition is pretty much your body kind of like sending you signals on what you should do. Like it's your intuition, like that gut feeling, that thing. It's like when you know that feeling that is like pulling you towards something or pulling you away from something, and you just know that feeling you get when you know something is right for you. You should go for it. And that feeling you get when you're like, this is weird vibes, like, maybe you should leave the situation. So, everybody has their own definition of, intuition depending on their beliefs. I believe in God, so I do believe like your intuition is kind of like God speaking through you. And I feel like from what I've learned, that if you follow your intuition, that you will always be on the path to your purpose. You will always be on the right path. But a lot of people are not connected to their intuition for multiple reasons. Maybe they don't know exactly what it is. Maybe they don't spend enough time getting in tune and being still in their body to actually hear their intuition or be connected to it, to develop a relationship with it and all this stuff like that. So anyways, going into that, number one, the first thing that I feel like we need to know before diving in is that intuition comes first, always. Okay? Remember to always listen to your body and do what feels right for you first before anything else. Astrology, what your mom says, what your dad says, what anybody says. I don't even care if there's a billionaire that tells you something. Like, you should listen what a book says. Like, this right here, your intuition, that feeling inside of you, God speaking through you, the universe, whatever you want to call it, is what you should tune into. Because if you do believe as well that God is speaking through you, then you know that you are on the right, like, that's who you should be listening to. Like, it's between you and God, and you are in the higher power. You just knowing that the answers are always within, will always be the thing that it will never steer you wrong. Okay. I say all of this as a person who kind of just started to just recently learn about intuition and really resonate with it. And I'm kind of on my own journey of learning to connect to my intuition more and build a relationship with my intuition to where I do understand how my body is communicating to me, and I do trust that guidance, and I do learn to lead with it and use it as a guide throughout my life. So once you have that set and you know that intuition comes first, then you can use astrology as a how-to guide, such as how to achieve the thing that your intuition is calling you to do, and or for more clarity or as confirmation. And then I said another or you can use it as like how to put words to your intuition. I hope that makes sense. I think astrology is a tool. I don't believe, and some people may think differently, and that's totally fine. But for me, I think it's always the healthiest and the best to, listen to yourself first. Okay, do what feels right for you always first and foremost. And if you do that 9 times out of 10 or 10 times out of 10, at least in my experience, the astrology always supports that. But if you're trying to listen to somebody else or live a path that somebody else is living, then you're not gonna be connected to your own true path, your own true purpose. So I just feel like you're never wrong when you listen to that and then use the astrology as like a more so like, okay, I know this is what I want to do. Let me look at the astrology just to affirm or confirm what you already know within, and also to show you for you to use it as a how-to guide, like I said, because usually astrology, if you learn to work with the astrology, it gives you insights on yourself based on different transits throughout the days and all this stuff like that. So yeah. Number 2 is, if you don't know how to connect to your intuition, start off with setting, and I'm probably going to do a separate video on this, but I said the basic things will be to start off with setting 5 to 10 minutes aside every day to be still. So what I like to do is just literally, you could just set a 5 to 10 minute timer on your phone. I like to do it in the morning time, but we'll get more into that because it's just easier. So set aside 5 to 10 minutes every day to be still and focus on your breath, which is pretty much meditating. And to do it with no expectation. That's very important, because for most people, you won't feel the effects immediately. You simply just have to get into the habit or the flow of doing your 5 to 10 minute meditation. And then over time, it's like building a muscle. Let's just say that if you go to work out, you do it for the one day or even a week, you're not going to really see much results, especially if you haven't ever really worked out before. It takes time, but you got to just continue doing it and make it a routine, like it's something important, like brushing your teeth or something like that. And know that it is helping you, and one day you're going to realize it and it's going to be amazing. So just, yeah. And like I said, view it as just like you eating healthy, you don't see the results right now, but you will eventually. Like, you're helping out your future self in so many ways. After you do your 5 to 10 minute meditation, and then right after the timer goes off on your phone or whatever you use to time the meditation, put another 5-minute timer on to write down any feelings or thoughts that came up during the meditation. And or if nothing came up during the meditation, then you can write down any feelings or thoughts that you have right after the meditation. And then voila, believe it or not, you just tuned in / listened to your body. Now, once again, it's going to be a weird thing at first, but I promise you, the more that you do it, the better, the stronger the connection, and the more you'll start to really understand certain sensations, certain feelings, certain just things in your body that kind of you start to really, and even thoughts that come up, you just start to really connect to it and trust it and understand what it's trying to tell you. But it helps when you are just listening to your body, you're being still, you're being quiet, you're focusing on your breath, and then you may feel a sensation, or like you may feel a feeling, or you may have a bunch of thoughts. Write those down. And then the more you do it, you may see like reoccurring themes or just certain things. Just observe at the beginning, okay? And that's just for the people who wants to like really, learn to tap into their intuition. And once again, I'll have way more videos on like sharing my personal journey, what it looks like for me to do it, and blah, 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 blah. So I said, if this is your first time connecting to your intuition, or if you don't do it often, then your intuition may feel quiet or non-existent. View your intuition like a relationship that you had to build through consistent connection and trust. The more consistent you are at tuning in to your intuition and reconnecting to your body, the more you will be able to understand and trust what it is telling you. Then all you will need to remember is to lead with it no matter what. Let it guide you to the path you are meant to be on. It knows you better than anyone, and it has your best interest. And number 3, another way that you can connect to your intuition is you can use oracle cards or tarot cards. They're a really good beginner thing as well to use. And if you want a video on that separately, then I can do that as well. But we'll get to that. I'm not going to go into that full details. But yeah, that's something. And I use both of those things, as you'll see. The 4th thing I wanted to just say was, so usually for me, I like to dedicate my morning for self-care and meditation / journaling, and then pulling an oracle card. So then that's my like morning routine. And then I like to dedicate my night routine to winding down and checking my astrology. So usually at nighttime or later in the day, I'll check the astrology of the day. I like to do it that way because I feel like doing it that way, I am allowing myself to lead with my intuition, and I'm going about my day based on what feels the best for me rather than subconsciously being influenced by whatever the astrology I read for the day. But you don't have to do that personally. If you feel like if you read the astrology early on in the day, it's not going to influence whatever, then you do that. But that way works the best for me. Plus, it's fun and sometimes super shocking how whenever I check the astrology and I see how it is connected back to my day. And a lot of times it's even spot on with the things that I wrote in my journal during my morning routine after meditating and pulling an oracle card. And with that, you know that you are very in tune and you are, you're just becoming more aligned with yourself and your path and all of that, your intuition. So those are kind of like the few things I kind of wanted to like just put out there. So since I'm starting this new channel, I thought the best way to attract other people who are on a similar journey and or who share a similar love for astrology and or spirituality, I thought the best way to attract those people would be to do a 1-year challenge or documentation of seeing what would happen if I applied everything I learned and am still learning about astrology to my day-to-day life. What if I worked with my natal chart and the transits every day to not only better understand myself, but to take it a step further and use it to guide me to my purpose, my happiness, my love life, and my money and career and, the rest of this stuff in life. And then what if I documented it on camera and or in my journal so I can look back at the progress at the end of the year, and better yet, not just do it alone, but do it with you all. Isn't that so sweet? But do it with a group of wonderful souls like you. That's what I actually wrote. That sounded better. You're a wonderful soul. And then I thought, as a fun little twist, as a fun little challenge and motivation for people to actually, join this, let's just call it a challenge, join this challenge and take it seriously. I decided each month it would be kind of fun to do a little giveaway and gift something special to a lucky winner each month for completing a month of lifestyle astrology. Okay, so now here's how to enter. I encourage everyone to comment either way so we can connect to each other and feel like a true community, because one of my intentions for this channel is to really grow a true, realistically, I wanted to grow this community to be the best, most genuine community filled with people who are on similar journeys and helping each other out and helping each other, like, through the lessons and everything we've learned and the tools, and just like sharing all of our insights and everything with each other. No gatekeeping or anything like that. Just helping each other to be the best that we can be and to be on the journey that is meant for us. And, I don't want to come here and, like, obviously you guys could do whatever you want, but my goal isn't to, like, tell you, like, hey, this is how I do it, so you should do it. The whole purpose of using astrology is to connect you to what you should do best, and obviously you could take whatever you want through, whatever. But yeah, the beauty of astrology and what I like about astrology is because astrology shows you how to do things your way that was meant for you. That may not look like mine or other people's, and that's okay, because we all have, there's a reason we were born differently and we're made up of different things and everything like that. So just really connecting and understanding your natal chart, then understanding how you could work with the transits every day or whatever will really help you, like I said, connect you and just actually show you or be the how-to guide of, the map to your life. To your life paths and your purpose and all that stuff. I think that's pretty much it for the first video. I kind of just wanted to, in this video, give you guys the basics of what we're gonna be doing with this challenge. And like I said, I wanted to kind of give you guys my opinion about how to approach astrology, and I wanted to share this exciting challenge or giveaway series thing that I decided to add on to it as a little fun cherry on top. See you tomorrow.